whole, I don't see any reason why we would want to take CD2 over to the other side of the hill.
Thank you. Next, Joe. Can we give you a microphone?
This is for Paul. Paul, as you know, I have taken a pledge that if elected, from the $178,000 salary that I'll be getting, I'll put $90,000 into neighborhood councils. Will you do the same?
Joe, good one.
Okay.
It's an impressive pledge, Joe, really. Given the fact that you have so much on the line and are likely to be able to live that pledge out, I think it's an impressive pledge. But you know, I'm not sure which neighborhood council you're going to be giving that money to. The one that you live with, the one that you're Winnetka, where you live, or you know what? I'm not sure. So, but anyway, look. I think we need to stand up for neighborhood councils. That's why I'm so proud that I've had so much support from members of neighborhood councils. Will I give up $90,000 of my salary? You know, I hope I'm given the opportunity to have that choice by being elected.
Thank you.
But I think it's a little bit much to ask people who are elected to office to do.
Okay, next. David.
I'd like to recover from that one first, but on to the next one. Okay, my biggest concern.
Who's this question to?
Oh, it's going to be for Tamar Gallatin, because my biggest concern in elections are people who run for one office to raise money and garner support to run for the bigger office later, which we're seeing here. So my question to Tamar is, did you take campaign money specifically raised for your LAUSD school board election, leave it in your office, transfer it into your office holder account fund, and then use that money
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Can I finish it?
No.
Well, they don't know the question.
Okay, answer the question to the best of your ability.
Richardson, okay, he's endorsing Tamar at the end of this, so that's why I didn't get to finish it.
Okay, thank you very much.
The answer to Jimmy Dog's question is no, I did not.
Okay, Chris Hessel.
I'd like to ask a question of candidate Pete Sanchez. Pete has a very impressive record as a neighborhood council member and a homeowners association member. When it comes to a project like the M. David Paul project that's being conceived just north of the Galleria, how would you as a council member use your skills to help reduce the size of that project or even make it go away? What strategy and what negotiating skills would you use?
Thank you, Chris. Over the years, as I've worked with the Neighborhood Council and the Homeowners Association, what I have done is I have brought the community together into either town hall forums or into some kind of open discussion, like I did with the Stevens property. We had over 400 people attend that Stevens meeting. The community got to speak their mind. We got to hear their what they had to think about the project. I would take that information. I would work with the developers and the other community members in the area, look at the environmental impact studies, and you know, bring all of that information together to try and get a project that the community could live with and be happy with.
Thank you. Okay, for the next stage, I'd like to ask Matt Epstein and John Eisen's going to start it off. Okay, John has questions for the candidates from the audience.
I thank you all for all your questions. They're great questions tonight. We're not going to be able to ask them all. So when we're done here, I encourage you to come up here and ask your questions of some or all of the candidates. They've all agreed to stay as long as it takes to answer every last question. Okay? That's right. We're not letting you out of the room.
Candidates, you get 45 seconds.
All right, so there's 45 seconds. The first, I'm going to ask a couple questions of individuals, and then I'm going to ask questions in groups of candidates by first name, because it's a bit quicker. Okay, the Los Angeles Times came out with an endorsement on Saturday. Paul, the Times said that you failed to articulate an adequate reason why now is the time to leave the assembly and start something new. other than that the council seat opened up. How do you respond?
Well, I think that the main reason that I think that this is an important opportunity for our community is that the skills that I've developed over a lifetime of service, both in the private sector and in the public sector, working in my career as a business attorney, working in the entertainment industry representing those clients, working in state and local policy making, working as a leader in the nonprofit arena, and being an education leader as well from my time when I was the president of the Burbank Board of Education. All of those give me a set of skills and experiences that I think will make me uniquely suited to be able to have an immediate impact on the Los Angeles City Council at the time when this city is facing such great crisis.
Thank you very much. Tamar, the Los Angeles Times said that you have neither been effective or energetic on the school board, and that there is little value in independence if it's just another word for isolation. How do you respond?
The gist of that LA Times piece was really that I'm too independent and that might scare people. And to be honest, I think that's exactly what we need right now in City Council. We don't need another 15-0 vote on every single thing facing this council. We need someone who's going to be a leader, who has the backbone to stand up and say, you know, the emperor's not wearing any clothes, he's running around naked. That's what we need right now, and I think that that is a good quality in a person, and we don't need any more sheep.
Next question is for Chris. The Times endorsed you and said that you understand that growth will occur, that the city's job is not to stop it, but to make sure it enhances rather than diminishes Los Angeles. What specific steps will you take to make sure that growth will enhance rather than diminish Council District 2?
Well, I would start by asking for a thorough analysis of the infrastructure of CD2, below the ground and above the ground. And before we move forward with any large projects, we would assess whether or not we have the capacity to handle those projects. In addition, each of those projects would have to be worked through the community. Every project would have to have community input. It would have to meet the wants and needs of the community. Otherwise, it wouldn't be going forward.
Thank you. Next.
Yes, does anyone else have a comment or question on these three questions? Anyone?
The LA Times
Want to say anything? No? Okay. All right, this question is for Mary, Augusto, and for Paul. Westfield Fashion Square has proposed a major expansion project with up to 15 years of construction. What will you require of the developer, if anything, before you support the project? Mary? Mary?
Thank you. One of my specialties is land use, and one of the things that we all know is there's such a thing as the existing zoning. All of these projects, including Westfield, including Magnolia, including a lot of other projects in CD2, come in requesting changes to the general plan, changes to the zone, variances, reductions in the number of parking spaces that they have to have. For housing, it's inclusionary zoning. Westfield, we need to take a look at that project, bring it to the community. Council members have tremendous power over what gets built and also what doesn't get built.
Thank you.
Augusto, your response?
Well, the Westfield Mall project is obviously going to create a major problem for all the neighborhood. I have a friend that lives right there with a small child, and he said it's going to be tremendous. We are going to have a lot of people around here for years to come that don't belong to the neighborhood. They're going to park in our streets. They're going to infringe in our liberties. They're going to have a problem with safety, and that's something that's very bad. I will not support